You guys, I'm going to show you what's in here, and you're going to think, why is that hard for you to let it go? Hey you guys, welcome. I'm Tracy. This is my channel, Tracy from the Mermaid Cove, and it's going to be snowing late tonight. I'm in Maryland, and it's 11 degrees right now. I have to go get some gas and do a couple things outside and then snuggle up. But I woke up this morning and my temperature in the house was 60 degrees, so that was not good. So I don't know. Yeah, but I have an amazing friend, Kenny, and he's coming this afternoon. But this was a drama at like 6:30 this morning. And then when I finally came back down again, I had turned it on instead of auto, and it was warm. So this thing is making me sweat. Is this kind of alpaca-ish thing, but I am going to go out. I thought I'll keep it on until I get back, and then thank God and comfort. But you know, I laid in bed and thought of the monks, the ones that are walking for peace, and I hope you're checking them out. And they really started to really penetrate my heart and my mind. I can't explain it other than it's important. I think important part of time in history. That's how deeply I feel about it. But I laid there and I thought, I have a roommate, and that I want her to be comfortable, and that's one of my biggest motivators to this. I'm okay suffering. But I lay there and I thought, one, I took some really good breaths. Then I saw myself walking with the monks. I probably made a couple minutes. Okay, so I had a phone call now. I don't know what I was saying, but we're good right now. And so let me show you these. So this is really, really weird. So I have this, and it, I don't know if one of these tops fit on it, but it leaks. It's beautiful. And then this really, I can't find the lid for it, but hear me out. Paint water, flowers. This I might have to keep. It's Tracy from the Mermaid Cove. And then I have these lids. I know for sure this thing got ruined. It had all these tops. And then I have these. And I was thinking, well, and this does not fit that other thing as much as I've tried. So I'm thinking, just in case, I'm like, you know what? You've not used these in 2 years. Now, hear me out. Do you think I could donate them, that someone might buy it because they need one? Maybe I'll do that, right? And let the vets decide. I'm like, why is this a struggle? It's just basically junk if it doesn't match. And why don't they match? What happened to the cups? It's just weird. But look how cute. Let me do this and see if this will be my screenshot. Isn't she beautiful? Anyway, I just thought, it's interesting how some things are so easy and then I get stuck by something like that. But it's a bag in my living room that needs to go. So yeah, I'm just hopeful to get some stuff done today. And I'm making a turkey in the oven, which I've never done, and a bag. Excited. I think I'll probably do that tomorrow morning. On the actual day it's snowing. But yeah, I'm hoping to get a little art done, just play. I've been, for those of you who are on Instagram and like art, paint, B-I-L-E-S, Biles, I think. I love her stuff, and she's messy and sloppy and consistent and does so much stuff. She does something I find really interesting. She uses a paperback book and just does stuff on one side. I'm like, how has the spine not broken? Right? But I thought, what if it does? You can just pull the paper out and put it in your collage fodder. So I love the idea. I have many ideas. I'm almost overwhelmed with all the ideas I have. So I'm going to just get paint and play. My table's almost clear, just stuff I have to put away. But yeah, so what do you guys do on a snow day? I've been very responsible about what I buy. Got lots of fruit. Gonna have yummy turkey, make turkey soup. I did get some bread, but at the grocery store, I went last night after I was at dinner at a friend's house, and so I was there about 9:30. No bread, no eggs. I have eggs, I have bread. No cilantro. Some other things just not there. But they had, I don't know what they're called. It's like a stand, I guess. It's cardboard and is, That they had candy and cookies and chips everywhere. Nuts, all of it toxic from one end to the other. I did break down and buy these Reese cups, red velvet, because they're new, and I'm sure they're terrible, but you know, and I'll only try one. And you know, and then give Joanna one to try and give people, you know, Mark and Sue and all that. So, but yeah, I got lots of good fruit. I got frozen fruit. I find, you know, raspberries out of season aren't as good as the frozen. You know, but they were out of the raspberry brand I like. So I got mixed berries and I got mango. So for my chia seed pudding, which I need to make today. So yeah, it's just not going to be, I got lots of good healthy food. Got string cheese and anyway, I have leftovers. My friend did a hot pot. It's so good, you guys. I have like a mushroom broth and you throw this stuff in and cook it. It's amazing. I have to figure out how to do that at home in a smaller way. But so good. Had margarita. It was lovely. Amazing cake. My friend has just an amazing daughter, and she's 18 now maybe. And my sewing machine hasn't been working, and I left it there for her, and she's fixed it. She was taking things apart. It was like, oh my gosh, I couldn't do that. She's amazing. So yeah. So I hope you guys are safe and warm. And I mean, honestly, if I had not gone to the grocery store, I would have been fine. And I almost wanted, like, I'll make this. And then I'm like, no, you have turkey and you're not buying meat. So, and right now I have fajita stuff. I'm going to make that today. I have Polish sausage out. So yeah, not going to starve. That's for sure. But it's 11 degrees, y'all. That's cold. Very cold. But they say that you should have a full tank of gas. I have a little above a half because your lines can freeze and stuff. So that's easy enough to do, to go get that. It was just too dark and cold last night to do it on my way home. But yeah, so that's going on. But how are you? Are you someone like, okay, this lid's missing, you just throw it out or give it away? I don't know. I don't know. So I'm hopeful to get stuff done. Yeah, that would be lovely. And then I'll have to show you tomorrow my mug she gave me. She gave me this really adorable, it's like pancakes with fruit on top, so you can lift the lid. So cute, so lovely. But yeah, I just, you know, when my heat wasn't working, my nose was cold, and I thought, oh my gosh, the heat's not working. That's how I know, because I like to sleep in the cold. I came down and I said at 70, it was 60. And I thought, okay, go back up, feed my cat, go back up, did some deep breathing, honestly, for about 5 minutes. Because your first reaction, your whole nervous system and your brain, like, oh my God, the house is all you know, my roommate's gonna be miserable, the pipes are gonna break. And I thought, no, let's breathe. And I spent almost 3 or 4 minutes walking with the monks in my head. So when you go look at the monks walking for peace, they have a lot of drone footage. I love it. And they're in a single line, especially when there's not a lot of people around them, because there's a lot of people around them. And I see myself at the very back of it. So it's really amazing. And it's a good way to honor them by doing that. But I mean, from 7 o'clock to coming down at 8:30, the heat was working. And I would have worked myself up. To what reason? You know, because everything is usually fixable, or if you can't, why are you stressing about it? But I think they're really affecting me in the best way possible. And it makes me really happy. Because, you know, I would lay there and think of 9 different thousand solutions, and what if this and what if that? And I try not to do that. I try to think like, what if you make this? What if you make that? Try to really pull out of it. Because, you know, and plus at work yesterday, people were so anxious and getting thousands of books. It was pandemonium all day. Well, there's lulls, but I walked around that library 10 times, redoing displays, pulling books out for people. I love it. I wish it was like that all the time, kind of, if we had enough staff. But it's just I don't know. It just has been kind of a fun feeling since we haven't had it in as long as nobody loses power. That sucks. That really does suck. But yeah, so we're going to be fine. And Joanna's going to shovel for me because I'm I'm not that person that gets to shovel for people anymore. Yeah, I used to when I was younger. If we were at work and it really started snowing, it was bad. And I worked with older ladies. Now I'm the old lady. And I would go out and I would make everyone give me their keys. I would turn the car on, get the heater going, and shovel everything off so they could come out. It was my kindness to them because, you know, I didn't want them to have to do it. And times when, you know, I could do it and didn't have to be on the desk. So I remember that. Yeah, and they were always like, you don't have to do that, but they're always so thankful. And usually someone would make me something as a thank you, but it was nice to do stuff like that. That's my parents. That's my parents. They were very generous people and very much in tune to helping people. It's one of the best things they gave me, I think, and thick hair. But yeah, so that's what's happening. But yeah, it's like, do you go in panic mode with this? Or are you just like, okay, I'm prepared. What are you going to do? But losing heat is not idea. But we generally don't do it. But I know some people do. It's a big thing. And it's miserable. But I was looking all over Instagram is what to do, right? Like I am going to fill my bathtub to be safe. And Joanna's filling hers, so we have that to flush toilets. I know where a bucket is in the garage, so I need to grab that just so we have it. But they were showing if you have a tent, like a camping tent, to put it wherever your living room or you have room, and the whole family sleep in there to keep the heat going, you know, body temperature. Plus, I have gas fireplace, and that helps a lot too. But I don't know. It's interesting all the things that people have. I think I am going to reevaluate my car. Like I have an emergency like silver blanket, but I could put a couple treats in there and some like hand warmers, just a little bag of stuff, water. I kind of gotten a lull because we just haven't had bad weather. So that's something I need to think about. But also something that I'm going to research later is what kind of device, and I don't know if they run on batteries or what, that you can have that can charge up your phone even when you don't have access to electricity. I think that's like super important. So that's something I'll get Beverly. She's good at doing that. But about the monk, so Beverly, the I don't know if you want to call him the monk that walks first, the kind of the lead monk, and he's the one that does the talking and interacting, talks to the public. But I said Beverly, I can't pronounce his name when I see it. I thought it was Thai, but I think she thinks it's Vietnamese. But it's not a name as much as it means venerable monk who moves like water or something like that. But he's 44. And it didn't say, his English is perfect, but he has a bit of an accent. So I don't know if he was raised in another country and lived here, but he's an American citizen. And then some of them are from Salt Lake City, a couple from Texas, a couple from Thailand. So it's interesting, right? It's really, but when you look at his face, it just gives me comfort. I don't know. He's very attractive, very compelling face, I think. But yeah, and so it's a very, I don't know what, severe is not the right word, but a very hard disciplined faith, or, you know, different monk sects. Just like in a lot of religions, there's different levels. There's some who will never have human contact, right? But they are not supposed to touch people, but I notice they're touching children. So I don't know, you know, and of course they won't eat if nobody gives them anything. But the most interesting thing she found out is they cannot sleep horizontally. They have to remain sitting up. It's wild. Like, okay. So they really, truly are about overcoming suffering. And I guess the philosophy, because why choose suffering? Just it comes enough, right? But I think the philosophy must be that the more you do it, the stronger you become, or more, I don't know. I know I couldn't sleep that way. But when I was laying in bed and cold and my nose was, I thought, you know what? You're okay. We're good. So, but I find that fascinating. I want to learn more about them. And I've been obsessed with monks for, not obsessed, that's not the right word, but reading about Buddhism and monks and for a long, long time. And when I worked on the Capitol, like, I don't know, 90s, I guess, and I was an elevator operator at the Senate, but sometimes I would be on the public elevator. And I remember one time I was reading something about the Dalai Lama, and I opened my door, because I got to read when it was quiet. I would open the door, and a bunch of like 10 Tibetan monks came in. And you know, so I don't know now, I mean, the color of the Tibetan monks are like that dark gold and maroon. So I don't, you know, I didn't ask him a million questions, but I just said namaste. And I remember that because I had literally finished like a book on the Dalai Lama. It was really interesting, but it's fascinating. I want to learn a little bit more about all that. And honestly, one of my goals has always been to go to France and to Plum Village, which is Thich Nhat Hanh's monastery, and do like a retreat or something. I don't know. It's kind of in the back of my head, but there's probably places here I could do it. There's a place around in Virginia called Berryville, and it's Catholic, but you can go for, I don't know, day, 2 days, a weekend, a week, but you go to be in silence. And you can make an appointment with a priest, a father, to talk about things, but it always appealed to me. I just never, I don't know, I just never did it. But I'm thinking about that too. It's just interesting. As someone who, my ADHD right now is wild. It's almost like I cannot shut up talking, like manic. And I can hear myself, and I try my best to pull it down. But the biggest thing is to go ahead and forgive myself when I realize I'm doing it. I'm not hurting anyone, and not be embarrassed by it, but be like, okay. Like last night at my friend's, I set my alarm to remind myself. And because, you know, especially I enjoy their company and they enjoy my company. And, you know, my friend had to get up to go to work today. But you know, when I go around the library and straightening and doing displays and that kind of thing, I have a truck, you know, rolling truck with me. 3 times this week, someone came to me and said, you left your truck out there, because I got distracted either by a person, or I thought, oh, I want to do this here. And then went in the back room and got distracted again. I mean, is this harmful? No, but it's just, and I'm not even embarrassed. I'm just like, wow, what on earth is that about? So, and sometimes I bring a chair because my knees, I'm very protective of my knee. And probably is bad because of all the kneeling I've done in my life at a library, but things are on the bottom shelf. So now I have a chair or a book thingy, a book stand. And because I want to put things in order, I need to see. And you know, I should have been doing that my whole life. My knee might not be so bad, but yeah. So I would leave it, I left a chair because, well, somebody asked me if I could recommend something to read. And then we were talking, I just was asking her questions, and she just said, you know, I've got so much on in my life. I just want simple kind of things. And then, so she ended up sharing a lot of stuff with me, and it's, you know, hard to walk away, but I need to be more mindful of that, because one, I am empathetic on top of it, and I'm usually pretty good about protecting my energy, but I have not been this week, and I am tired. And I'm not so sure, I don't know why that, I don't know how to phrase this, that I can understand people and almost know what to say or what not to say, or to invite them to think about something. I love that. You know, instead of saying, why don't you do that? It's like, I invite you to think about this, right? That's not much, and it doesn't put people's hackles up, like, why don't you tell me what, you know? But I also know that people aren't in this setting, they're nervous, they need to let out these thoughts, and it doesn't necessarily matter that it's me, right? And I tell a lot of people, and I'm going to start doing this again, I do it and then I don't do it, is writing things down, right? Like morning pages. This is coming up so much on my Instagram, and that in so many places that to get up. And if you, well, I've got a cat, but I could set my alarm a little earlier and just write 3 pages. No crossing the T's, no capitalization. I don't make sentences. It's really just dealing with monkey mind and getting it out. And there's somebody I watch on YouTube. I can't think of his channel, but he had been in prison. He was like almost like, I don't think he made the Olympics because he got hurt, but he was a really good ski jumper. He was from like Vermont or somewhere, and he got injured. And then when the doctor stopped giving him the drugs he needed, he had to buy them. And then he didn't have money, and he was robbing banks. And he was in and out of the prison system 10 years. And it's fascinating to me. I think I found him because somebody was talking about what it's like in prison. It's like fascinating to me. And, but he said he would get sober and back and, and back. But he finally met a man who said, before we talk, I want you to do this like for a month or 6 weeks. Do the morning pages. Just journal down. So he talks about how that one thing, and he thought, what are you talking about? He goes, no, I want you do it every day for 6 months or 6 weeks. And he said by the end of that 6 weeks, he felt different, and he could really take in what the man was saying and not be defensive. And it's why he thinks he keeps his, I don't know what you call it, sobriety. I know it's with alcohols. I don't know if it's the same, but he keeps him off drugs. And he talks about this a lot. And I thought, yep. And it can be as dark as you want it to be. It can be as hateful as you want to be because it will change. But sometimes we repress those feelings, and it's a good way to get them out of your system, right? Anyway, learn, teach what you need to learn. But I know no way this one's going. She has like 13 or 12-year-old daughter and 14, and the 12-year-old daughter is doing nonsense. I said, why don't you just stop judging her unless, she's going to do something very dangerous. But she feels your judgment, and it's natural. I said, but like her doing her hair and makeup, just let her do. It's the only way you learn. But anyway, I got to really learn to protect myself a little better. Plus, it's exhausting, and then I don't get what I need done. And then I get, I have to kind of, like, I actually worked half my lunch just trying to get everything I wanted to get done. So, I really got to work on shielding consciously. To some degree, I'm pretty good at it, but this week I haven't been sleeping well. I was actually social, and I was trying not to eat a lot. On Thursday, we went to dinner with some friends I met at the library, and then I knew I had that. So I was trying to eat healthy, but not a lot, so I could enjoy the food. But I think that weakened me, and it made it easier for me to get kind of in the moment of all this. So, but it's, how do you learn? How do I know now I need to work on shielding and it may be affecting me in ways I haven't become conscious of if you're not engaged with something. So it's been interesting. But I hate that feeling because of my ADHD. I'm having a hard time following through on simple things, and that it can bother me. It can make me scared. Like, is there one day you're just not going to be able to do it? But I'm trying to move past that fear. I'm like, okay, we have to put things in place, and that's the thing. And the woman I had, here comes the postman. Woman, actually. I don't know what she's doing. I don't know that I have a package or anything. Joanna might. Nothing I have to sign for. See, I forgot. Anyway, so I want to work on that. Like, okay, this week, I've been really good about having the sink empty. It's just a new practice I want. So I ran the dishwasher. And I think Thursday morning, I started to unload it and got distracted. So then I had to leave for work. So I just shut it up. But I had made it to dirty because I thought I was going to do it. And then Friday, I was exhausted in the morning from being out so late. And, I know what to say. And then, yeah. Just little things like that. They're not a big deal. Nobody's hurt, but it's just, I don't, there's a good feeling of completion when you do that. But anyway, the woman is having dinner with a couple, she's ADHD too. And we're also different because she's very successful in her career and she's got a really good brain, and she took computer science a long time ago. And it's hard for me not to compare myself to that, but I don't have that kind of brain. So, like, it's just a lot to struggle with, but it's there and I need to deal with it. That's probably a very good place for me to start my morning pages with all that feeling, like an underachiever, maybe? Is that the right word? I don't know. Maybe I'm like a rock star doing the best, like a miracle that I can do what I do. I don't know. But she was talking about body doubling, and I had never heard that term before. But, and depression is such a huge part of ADHD, huge part. When she's talking about, like, a couple weeks ago, she was really depressed. And I guess she orders clothes a lot and tries stuff on, and then returns it. But she was stuck in this, I don't know. One time it's like amnesia, you don't remember to do something, but it's also like you're stuck in quicksand, or you just can't move. You see, it's the weirdest disconnect between whatever goes on in the brain. But I've had this happen to me. And, but she said, one of her girlfriends called and say, "You're not okay. I know that, but what can I do to help you?" And she told her about this. So she came over, and my friend tried this stuff on, and, she had lost like 5 pounds from being sick. I think she struggles with enough calories, I think. But, and they picked the ones, and her friend took them and got a mail for her. I'm going to tell you, my friend Claire, who I met on here, I can't remember when it was. It was around Christmas, and I don't know if it's right after my mom had died. I don't know. It had to been after that because I didn't start my channel. Anyway, I had ordered this stuff from QVC, and I needed to return it. I think I passed the date. And I was telling her, like, how bad I feel about that and how ridiculous it is. And she said to me, "Give me your information." Because I think I was like 30 days past the cutoff for returns. She's amazing. She's like, I think we talked, she said, "Get it tomorrow to the post office." Because she said, "Your job is to package up, get it ready." And they took it back. I couldn't have done that, but she could. And so I guess that's body doubling. But it's interesting, right? And I've done that for friends. I have a friend I'll go over. It's just hard, though, because people are in such different... when someone comes to help me, I'm really good because I know their time's valuable, and I can follow through. But some people, you go, you help, and they just can't. They cannot follow through. But it's the kindness that you offer, and to get away from the end result, right? We're so oriented in that, especially in this country. And then if feelings come up, I just deal with them. But I would do that for someone in a heartbeat. I remember a long time ago, I was in a bad depression and had no idea how to do anything with ADHD, right? And people don't understand depression, especially if you're outgoing and fun and dressed like in colors and like, well, how can you be depressed? Jeez Louise, I'm a human being. What are you talking about? But I've been in this weird depression, and sometimes my mom could cope with it, and sometimes she couldn't, because I become very silent, and I was austere, and I withdraw, and she would take it personally, which I understand. Wasn't a lot of fun to be around, but, she just couldn't understand that it wasn't something I was choosing to do. Anyway, I was sleeping on a bare mattress because I just could not get my sheets on. And I must have been talking to Sue from Mark and Sue. And next thing I know, there's a knock on my door, because we did not live far from each other. And she goes, "I'm going to make your bed." She came over and made my bed. She's like, "You're not doing this. I'm going to make this bed for you. You're going to feel 100 times better." That's what she did. How simple is that? But how kind. And it helped me. It snapped me out a little bit. So yeah, sometimes it's just little things like that, helping someone make their bed, which people are embarrassed, or helping me sort and hang out with me while I do laundry. I mean, these are amazing. So when it comes to people I work with or customers, patrons, I do have and it's coming from, who knows where it comes from. I just know that's something I can do. And I pick up on people's energy. And I also know when I should not say something. There's sometimes I try to be funny and it falls flat, but that's on them because I'm funny. So yeah, it's interesting. It's so interesting. And I don't know if this is age, but moving to be curious about why I'm doing something instead of judgmental or upset. Not that that doesn't happen. It does. But usually, like, I got really cranky yesterday because I had too much energy on me and in me, and I hadn't eaten enough. And so I have to rethink that. That's, because, you know, they sent me home with tons of stuff. So I have to rethink that. That's not a good choice for me because I want to eat at dinner. I have to get more calories in than I did. But she and I were talking, my friend I had dinner with on Thursday, and her husband, and we were talking, and she made a lovely dinner. Oh my God, it was so good. It was chicken and some kind of coating. She's going to send me the recipe, very flavorful, and that's kind of what I need. And then beautiful steamed carrots. There's one from Trader Joe's, the carrots in many color, and broccoli. And then they made a lovely peach cobbler with a little bit of ice cream. It was a perfect meal. Nothing wrong with this meal. But we were talking about calories, and I said to her, my nutritionist in the beginning said I really should be getting between 2,000 and 2,500 calories. And I thought the woman was nuts. Or I'm like, what are you talking about? That's going to keep me fat. Are you crazy? And she said, your body needs calories, good calories that aren't going to crash me down, right? But calories that are helping my body heal to do what it needs to do, right? To process the food I'm eating, to deal with the water I drink, to make new cells, keep my hair, all this stuff, right? And it takes calories. And I, you know, back in the day when we would go on eating plans and diets and stuff, it was about calorie restriction, right? And really terrible food that did not satisfy you at all. So I was talking about it, and she looked at me too, like, are you insane? And I said, you know, for you, it might be 1,800 or 1,700 because she's very petite and thin. But yeah, it's amazing, right? And I said, we talked about this in June, and it took me until maybe I started thinking about it before Christmas, that maybe she's onto something. Because there's days that I don't have a lot of calories. Number one, the drugs, sometimes you can't. You just feel nauseous, like your low-level flu. It's very hard to eat food, right? And you have no really cue to eat food. So you kind of have to plan it and eat it if you can, no matter what. But like I said to her, you know, if you have an ounce of walnuts, that's 200 calories. Now, I'm not on a calorie restriction. It's just an idea of what energy you're putting in, right? And that's 200 calories. That's a good little snack. And you throw a string cheese with it, which is what I usually do, or a cup of fruit or something. You're looking at a little great snack that will give you energy. So it's a really mind shift, you guys. Like, how do you feel? Like, some people just have never had an issue with food and just eat. And like my friend Sam, it's not an issue, and that's great. And, you know, sometimes she's like, oh, I need to cut back, or, you know, she tries to eat. She pretty much eats healthy. She's American, but she's Asian American, and, you know, they just eat differently. There's a really cool picture book, and I can't think of the name of it, but it's a little girl. I think she's Korean or Chinese. I'm not sure which one, but it's about her lunchbox and how she's moved to this country, and when, and she doesn't speak the language well, but when she opens her lunchbox, which is, you know, all the really interesting, like a rice ball and, you know, all kinds of interesting stuff. It's so different than the American lunchbox, right? And she feels self-conscious and told her mom, I want a sandwich like other people. But basically the end of the picture book, and this is why I like picture books, because they end happy. She's sharing her food. People are curious about it, you know, and then she's eating some of their food. So it's just a way of life, right? You know, look at what the Japanese eat for breakfast. They eat like amazingly, and I like real food for breakfast. My nephew's girlfriend, fiance, she does that too. She says she's with like gluten and dairy, and she'll eat like a hamburger, she'll eat a burrito, like whatever. So it was just a different concept on food, and she's actually studying, getting her master's, and I can't tell you the exact title because I can't remember stuff like that, but basically she's learning about food in poor communities and that kind of thing, you know, how to make an impact and a difference. She's lovely. I mean, I'm going to tell you, she's something. So yeah, so this, it's been a real, and I've been very open and sharing about the GPL and my weight loss, because I don't feel self-conscious about it anymore, or I don't judge myself. And people, like, she's very thin, my friend I had dinner with, and I would have never thought she had any issues with food. Most people do. And just by me sharing, you know, in this wild 2200, especially if you're going to work out. And she was like I was. But I said, just think about it, you know? So there's days when I get 500 or 600 calories. I'm not in the best mood. I'm tired. I have a hard time drinking all my water. And then days that I consciously put in enough, like more calories, I feel so much better. I have so much more energy. So it's a really shift of thinking for me, that food is energy. So, you know, and like I said to her, just have one snack. You know, I'm not the biggest nut person. I don't particularly love walnuts, but it's a powerhouse and I'm going to eat them. So yeah, it's just so much to learn. And I love sharing. I love being open, because there's so many people who are suffering and don't know what to say, or, you know, I can talk about something and people say me too kind of thing, you know, where maybe people just don't. So, and it helps me process, like, I will think later, what was that you said? Are you doing that kind of thing, you know, like, are you talking about like my morning pages because you need to do it? So stuff like that, when you move out of judgment, it's amazing. And I have moments, trust me, or someone irritates crap out of me and I'm like, yeah, like, what's going on? Like, why is this person irritating me? Well, I'm usually hungry, tired. I see something of myself in them that I don't recognize, kind of thing. And I'm not generally really a reactive person. I mean, I've grown out of it, and I really do try to be kind than right, which isn't always easy, but you just don't know what people are suffering. And I think I don't want other people's energy to change my energy. But it's been something this week. I think people, I have lived here my whole life, right? A couple years in Arizona. The pandemonium that snow coming brings is honestly, I guess it probably is studied, like the anxiety, and it's real, right? But I see people who have food, if you have food insecurities and you're living paycheck to paycheck and you can't go buy enough, that must be horrific. And you can't maybe afford extra heating bills to put the heat where it should be, kind of thing. That's really hard. But the patriarchy, as I like to call it, but the huge companies making money off you, really, I do think we've been trained. And I learned a lot during the pandemic. You know, I ended up donating so much food, which was good. But and trust me, I have a lot of food. Like my pantry, I'm not, and I ordered food, but I need stuff like, you know, but I'm really giving myself a gold star, because my first thought, okay, I need this and ice cream and this and this. And I'm like, really? Do you? You know, like, okay, let's think about this. And at the most, we may be snowed in on Sunday, and maybe it will be hard to get out Monday. That's 2 days. So but we're trained that way because they want us to spend our money. They want us to be consumers, regardless if it's healthy for ourselves or not. And now that I get on my high horse about this protein crap, you know, number one, you need protein, right? And on GPL1, if you can't eat enough food, you need protein. You need to be eating protein and fiber, period. But now, like I called this early, like I got a TV dinner. You know, I have to have easy things. That's the thing my nutritionist is like, you have to have easy things when you can't, you just don't have it in you. You can grab and nuke it and eat it. So I can't remember, I want to say there's a couple TV dinners that are pretty clean, Healthy Choice, something like that. Right on there, 21 grams of protein, 14 grams of protein. I thought, this is ridiculous, right? But they're getting, but you know, if you're doing that, you need to drink tons of water, right? I just don't know. But now Pop-Tarts, I've been raving, it's ridiculous, have added protein. So you'll see Pop-Tarts will be 14 grams of protein. Guess what? That doesn't make it a good food, or it doesn't make it a food that's going to sustain health, right? Trying to get away from good and bad. And I go back to the SnackWells. My people know. People are eating that crap and getting fat because it was a lie. And it wasn't that people didn't know better. I just think they didn't care, right? So I'm just hysterical when I see Twizzlers, 14 grams of protein. Okay. So it's just, here we are. And now on my Instagram, which I've been on a lot because of the monks, but now I get so much about, get this vitamin for fiber, get this gummy for fiber. Like, you know, I'm working really hard at eating it, not taking supplements, but I put Benefiber in my protein shake, and I will because it's important at the end of the day. But, you know, having a cup of fruit every day is huge. So it's a big deal for me. And it's just going to be a way of life. But watch out for this protein business. And if they're adding protein to Pop-Tarts, what kind of protein is that? Like, what is it? I mean, it cannot be an expensive source, right? It's interesting. I almost at the grocery store, I like to look for new things to try. And goldfish, toxic as hell. Go ahead and get them for your children. Especially with ADHD, you gotta stay away from food coloring. I want to think. Interesting. No, I haven't really had anything with food coloring in it. Did I lose my train of thought? Okay, goldfish. And I knew they had new ones out. They have a salt and vinegar, and they have a ranch. Ranch is one of the most unhealthy things you can eat. It's just toxic. You can make your own ranch dressing, but I found the salt and vinegar. I could not find the ranch. And they had, like I said, they have all these, like, there's a name for them, I can't think of it, but just containers sticking out so you see them. And there it was. There was the ranch goldfish. Buy one, get one free, don't you know? I'm like, Tracy, you know how toxic this is. And you did buy the salt and vinegar ones, and that is a better choice probably, but let's just try those. You're not trying everything. So I talked myself out of it. I don't think it said protein on it yet, but watch. But notice when you're in the grocery store, it's insane. It's insane. So anyway, it's a journey. It's a journey, but that amount of calorie things. So what I do in the morning is I have an app called Nourish, and I put in, not every day, but when I really want to get my food in and I can do it and I remember, I do it more often than not. Like, I haven't done it for today, but I put in what I'm going to eat, right? So I can look at it and think, oh, good, this is 1,400 calories. Okay. Now, what I do is, as I eat it, I change what it is and the time. And then at the end of the day, if I haven't eaten it, I take it off. And like, maybe I only got 1,100 calories, right? But I'm just trying to train myself to, and sometimes I weigh food, not like in the old days where, God forbid, you went over this 1 ounce of tuna. It's just really to get myself, so I understand, like, okay, this is about a 3-ounce serving. I really never paid attention to those things. And I think it's reaction to the nonsense I had to go through in the 80s. Like I said, I can't even, the thought of cottage cheese, and that's a big source of protein. But I think I can make recipes where you almost liquefy it and put it in stuff. But I could, if I had to sit down and take a spoonful, I would absolutely vomit it up because emotionally, I can't. Honestly, PTSD. So that's what's going on. But it made me think her reaction, my friend's reaction to the calories. And that was mine. But I'm really starting to feel the difference and notice. And I'm excited because this isn't just about, well, it is about lab results, having good numbers. It is very much about that. But it's not, secondly, a size of pants or a weight on this scale. It's really about feeling good and having energy and making choices that are kinder for myself. And I'm really, y'all, I'm reevaluating the word treat. I'm going to treat myself. I'm going to go ahead and get Dairy Queen. Is that a treat? Is that something, what is that? I don't think it's a treat. So my friend got this cake from Whole Foods that I love. It's Norwegian heaven cake. It's heaven. And that was a treat. And her husband made homemade whipped cream. And I do get a little excited because I'm human. But I can tell you right now, cake mixes are toxic, right? But sometimes you're just going to use it because you just have to. But I can tell you right now, there was not a lot of bad stuff in this dessert, right? So my body recognized it. It could digest it, and it wasn't fighting toxins, right? And I had more than enough calories that it wasn't going to add weight to me, And really now, when I do calorie stuff, it's easy to see how quickly, like it was probably a $400 to $500 treat, $100 calorie treat. And had I eaten 2,200 calories and had that, it might be pushing me a little bit towards, I'm going to hang on to weight or, But it's interesting when you add this kind of stuff, how quickly you can put on weight. And I also know I can eat stuff to keep my weight from not losing weight. So anyway, I don't know. I just like to share. It's amazing though. But how do you feel like if someone said you should eat 2,200 calories or 2,000? Would that wig you out or be like, yeah, that's kind of what I eat? I don't pay attention, but you feed your body. Yeah, maybe I had 2 treats, snacks this week, or something like the cake. I'm just gonna have fruit for the rest of the week, like normal people can do. But also, I'm looking forward to really understanding so I can forget and not have to plan so much and it just be natural. And I feel that's going to happen. I see myself doing that. Like I said, by the time I'm 65, which should be the time I could retire, I'm going to be very strong, really strong, and really have moved through stuff. I feel it. I know it. So, but being, talking to people and sharing, I think it's so important because we all act like we have it together. But the anxiety people, so this snow stuff on top of what's happening on the planet, I think people will really just, I wonder if it's a lack of control and that getting food or library books or whatever it is you feel like you need helps calm that part of your brain, even though it's an illusion. I don't know. Do you think that? I think that might be it. That's probably it. And of course, we're constantly told, you need this, you deserve this, you should have this, because we want to kill you. Or we want you to be with Big Pharma. I'm sure oh God, if it comes out there in cahoots, it wouldn't surprise me. So you and Big Pharma, so then you'll need to take medicine you can't afford. But food definitely can be medicine. It's really wild, the paradigm shift going on within myself about it. And the next thing, so when I'm really kind of eating healthy and all that, then I like to shop more. And that's a thing. So that is challenging. I'm probably 80% better than I've ever been. But that's just something my family's always done. We would go to church. We would have go to the buffet, as I like to call it, on the base, have brunch. Then we go to Woolworths and I could pick out what I wanted. I went to the doctor, I got a treat. I could have McDonald's, I could have ice cream, or paper dolls were truly my favorite. I might cut some paper dolls this weekend. Come back, brain. You're kind of having a shitty day. Maybe go order a t-shirt. You feel fat. Maybe I need a large, It's just so interesting when you follow it, and it's all because they make money off you. But it's really, since I've been getting rid of stuff, you have to not bring stuff in, right? So I have a new great nephew, and I'm going to be the book person. And, people donate books. They're really cheap, like a quarter. I don't have to pay too much for them. Lovely, brand new stuff. So it's interesting because I go on Amazon and look at different board books. Like I want to send him a Valentine book, just one. And the St. Patrick's and Lunar New Year, right? And it's very challenging. And I don't have Prime. So I've been making decisions on just ordering like the books that I'm going to have till summer. And just because I won't pay shipping otherwise, and just have them. But I don't want them in my house, but I want them safe, right? So in the garage, I have this, I have some empty storage, right? I got to move stuff to get to it, but that's where everything's going to go. So one, I know where it is, right? I had books for him when he's 10. They're just so amazing. I thought, you know what? Focus on this because it's not expensive and it is something that makes you feel like you're being part of his life. And yeah, so I am allowing myself to do that. But I do at lunch, I look through everything and see, is it in good condition or what? Because I'm looking for weird stuff, unusual stuff. And do I like the art? And yeah, so that is a good way, because apparently I have to be obsessed. So that's what I'm doing. Yeah. But meanwhile, I have hundreds of kids' books. I've been collecting them for years for my niece and nephew, and for their future children, and I just love them. They're very inspirational to me. Let me show you this. So this book, these are talking books. They're called box books. So you can follow along. It reads and you can follow along. But the art in this is so amazing. So I brought it in to look at when I get some paints and stuff out. Look at this. Look at this green. So this has been my inspiration. And I thought, so my first thought is, oh, he needs this. Really? Okay. You're going to go buy like this book? But I put it on my Amazon and then I put it in my wish list. So maybe, there'll be a good sale or down the line. But there's this book that Carrie and Zachary love called Stop That Pickle. And it's a pickle trying to escape off a plate. It's hysterical. It's like, stop that pickle. Older book. Like, I think all our copies are gone in the library. So this is a book I do want this child to have. And so I went on Amazon, and it's out of print. The used copies are up to $30 and up. I'm not the only one that appreciated Stop That Pickle. Like, okay, you're going to put it in your list, and you'll check occasionally. Maybe there'll be a good deal, or, I'm going to start thrifting soon for clothes. I'll check out the books, and maybe I'll find it. I probably will if I put it out there. But it's interesting. So it's a new obsession. And, but it's a healthier one for me, and fun. So we'll see. But, clothes is going to be a tricky. Yep. But you know what? I'm just being aware of that. Oh, you're looking at clothes right now. Okay. Would you rather go do something else? No, I want to look at clothes. Okay. There's a pair of jeans. They're called, they're like a sage color, if that makes sense, but there's a cool name for it. It's like a gray green. I love them. I love this color. I don't know why I'm attracted to more muted colors. I love it. They're $65. No. So I visit with them and look at them and think, huh. And they're not going down because I think everyone loves this color. They had a really cute t-shirt which sold out. And I understand that. I guess I'm not the only one that loving this color. I thought, okay, why don't we try to make that color with paint? And bring, if you love that color, bring it in other ways. Come on, paint. If I were like, okay, I'm going to be here for the rest of my life, maybe, but I'm not, so I'm not buying that. And I'm going to put it out there. Maybe I'll find a pair thrifting. You never know, right? So that's kind of where I'm at. And, but I don't want to just like, okay, I'm not spending money because the world's coming to end and scared. I don't want to try to have that fear. I want to do it because it's the right thing for me to do. And, yeah, and food's a big part of that. I love getting on there and plotting, and I ended up getting stuff from Walmart yesterday when I really wanted to go this week and not buy food, but I needed like celery and onion stuff for my soup and stuff. So, and I got a milk and a yogurt, stuff like that. So we'll see. But anyway, I'm just yapping away, and I need to go get gas before, I hope it's not lines at the gas station. But anyways, always lovely to talk to you guys and share. And, you know, I do hope you're not alone. You're not the only, you know, whatever your parents told you or a partner told you, there's nothing wrong with you. You are who you are, right? And a gift. You're a gift. And I am a testament you can start to feel like that, because I haven't most of my life. I always had a hard time taking compliments, like impossible. I would think I fooled them. I tricked them if they really knew. I'm a lovely human being. I'm kind, I'm thoughtful, not perfect. I like to share. And why did I ever have that? Why did I, and you know, why? It's interesting. But now I just recognize, I'm much better at that. I have come far. So I am testament. You can start with your morning pages. What is it, something in your head that someone planted? Write that over and over and say curse words back to it. And, you know, get it out. And it may take a year. Maybe, I do think in 6 to 7 weeks, you'll start feeling a little better. 6 months. But pay attention. But it doesn't, and I'm telling you right now, I sometimes save you get so much paper in the mail. Isn't that ridiculous? Well, we were supposed to be a paperless society. The back of bills, or, you know, they had to have cover sheets on stuff. Sometimes I collect that and I just do it on each side, and then I rip them up and throw them away. I never reread them. It's not the point. It's not that. It's about an act of getting stuff. But one of the monks talked about that, and he's the head monk. He said, he's tied to mothership, but he said, get pen and paper and write down your intention for the day. So I would invite you to really, really think about it. And you might forget, forgive yourself, move on, do it again. Because I think, why haven't you done this every day since you found this concept or was introduced to you? I thought, well, okay, I didn't. So who knows why? Life, busy, distraction, ADHD. I'm like, well, how about we come back and we start again? Beginner's mind, right? And we have something in place to remind us to do it. Because I go like honestly, like amnesia. It's wild. Things I really want to do. And honestly, if it's not written down, it's bizarre. But it is what it is, right? So, and me getting uptight about it is not helpful. Apparently, it's not helpful. But anyway, you guys, I'm going to go, like I said, 10 minutes ago. I appreciate each and every one of you, and I feel your energy, whether you ever make a comment, like, subscribe. I know you're there, and I know life hurts. It hurts. And it hurts even worse when you pretend it doesn't hurt, right? And I have no suggestions on world peace, or I do know that the morning pages help. I do know following the monks have literally changed my thinking. And I'm saving on Instagram. I have a monk category now, and I'm saving all the different things that move me, because one day they won't be in the news. They won't be on Instagram. And I want to remember. I want to remember. So, you guys have lovely, be safe. Be safe. Don't do anything dumb. Be smart, not stubborn. Nothing, we get so panicked and think, well, I have to do this. No, you don't, unless somebody's dying or, you need immediate help. But really challenge that thought and don't put yourself in jeopardy. Try not to. Accidents happen. Falls happen. I can only imagine what the emergency room's going to be like if there's ice. But just don't go anywhere. Just don't. Unless it's so necessary that something catastrophic will help it happen. Just keep yourself as safe as you can. And give yourself a hug from me. And you are a miracle. Honestly, I can't stop talking. One of my co-workers, we were talking at lunch, and I can't remember how it started, but we were talking about I know, it was something like the, I don't remember if it was 1800s, but the life expectancy was something like, I know, it started with, she's reading Wuthering Heights again. And we were talking about, how terrible the Brontes' lives were. And they died so young. And I think she's reading some of it to her husband, but he Googled, like, the life expectancy age at that time was 24. And you think that you came from people who survived unimaginable odds to be here. And it's pretty amazing. That does make you miraculous. Like, my grandfather's mother, my great-grandmother, lost 8 of her 18 children in the Spanish flu epidemic. And she loved each and every one as much as we love people. I mean, how do you survive? I mean, they lived on a farm and had to work, and life had to go on. You had to feed people. You had to do stuff, and the lack of conveniences, and, they weren't getting proper nutrition, I know my grandmother would fish because they didn't have a lot. And she would get up in the freezing cold and go fish, so they had food. Of course, my mom loves her fish. She did. So think about what a miracle you are. It's really, truly, the odds were not in favor, but here we are. We have come from a line of survivors. And if you just start there, you were born from a lineage that survived, and you're a miracle, regardless of the nonsense going on. I mean, can you imagine if we lived every day like we're a miracle and the world's a miracle? I don't know. But anyway, I truly am going now because it's going to be like an hour and 10 minutes. No one's going to want to watch it. I should have broke it up in 2. But I know there's some of you who hang out to the end. And whatever, you get something in 10 minutes, whatever, do you. And I just am appreciative because this makes a huge difference in my life. I do think I've come so far and have changed so much because of this channel and talking. 100%. It's been the most amazing therapy of my life. And I would invite you guys to think about, just sit down and record yourself talking. I mean, some people are more, and probably would never do it. But it's you don't have to send it to anyone, delete it. But it's very cathartic. You're looking at yourself, and I know other people are out there. But yeah, I don't know. For me, and I think for anyone, I'm not special. It's how the brains work, hand to paper. Nothing special about me that I wouldn't work for you. But I take different times, we're all in different stages of therapy and thoughts and all that. All right. Be safe. You're a miracle. I'll see you soon.